Chosen one, before you scroll past this moment, before you dismiss what you're about to hear, before you tell yourself this isn't meant for you, stop. You didn't find this video by accident. You didn't click here because of the algorithm. You were pulled here by something deeper, something ancient, something that lives in your bones and has been waiting for you to finally listen. This isn't entertainment. This isn't motivation. This is recognition. This is the moment your soul has been preparing for since the day you first felt different from everyone around you. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you knew about yourself. You are not entirely human. I don't mean this metaphorically or poetically. I mean this literally, scientifically, spiritually. The composition of your consciousness, the frequency of your energy, the coding in your cellular memory, it's different. You carry something in your DNA that didn't originate on this planet. You carry markers, signatures, frequencies that link you to something beyond this dimension. And deep down, in the part of you that never sleeps, you've always known this truth. You've felt it every single day of your life. That feeling of not belonging, that wasn't low self-esteem. That was your non-human aspect recognizing that this world operates on a frequency you were never designed to match. That sense of homesickness you can't explain, that wasn't depression. That was your soul remembering the realm you came from before you descended into this dense reality. Every strange ability you've had, every prophetic dream, every moment you knew something before it happened, every time you sensed energy that others couldn't feel, that wasn't imagination or coincidence. That was your hybrid nature expressing itself through the limits of human biology. You've spent your entire life trying to fit in, trying to be normal, trying to shrink your awareness down to match the people around you. And every single time you tried, something inside you screamed in resistance. That resistance was your true nature refusing to be buried. That discomfort was your multi-dimensional consciousness suffocating in a three-dimensional box. You were never meant to fit here because you're not from here, not completely. And the sooner you accept that truth, the sooner everything in your life will begin to make sense. The revelation starts now. Chosen one, let me show you the evidence you've been ignoring. From childhood, you displayed abilities that others couldn't explain. Maybe you could sense danger before it arrived. Maybe you knew when someone was lying, even when their words were perfect. Maybe you had experiences that adults dismissed as imagination, but you knew were real. Your eyes saw things in the corner of rooms. Your ears heard frequencies others couldn't detect. Your body felt shifts in energy that science doesn't acknowledge. These weren't quirks. These were your non-human genetics activating. Think about your dreams. Not the random ones, but the ones that felt more real than waking life. The ones where you traveled to places you'd never been, but somehow recognized. The ones where beings spoke to you in languages you don't know but somehow understood. The ones that predicted future events with disturbing accuracy. Those weren't products of your subconscious. Those were transmission. Your consciousness was temporarily freed from the limitations of your human biology, and reconnecting with the intelligence network you're part of, you were receiving updates, downloads, recalibrations from your point of origin. Your body itself gives you clues. You've always had unusual reactions to your environment. Certain places drain you instantly, while others energize you for no logical reason. You can walk into a room and immediately know if something bad happened there. You feel the emotional residue in spaces. You pick up on tensions and intentions that others remain oblivious to. Your nervous system is wired differently. It's more sensitive, more receptive, more attuned. That's not anxiety or being overly sensitive. That's advanced sensory equipment operating in a world that wasn't designed for it. And let's talk about your relationships. You've never had normal friendships or connections. People either become obsessed with you or intimidated by you. There's no middle ground. Some people meet you and immediately feel they've known you forever. others meet you and can't get away fast enough. This happens because you emit a frequency that triggers recognition in those who carry similar coding and activates fear in those who don't. Fear. You're a walking tuning fork, and everyone who encounters you is forced to reveal their true vibration. You've never been able to hide what you are, even when you desperately tried. Chosen One, there's a reason you weren't taught this in school. There's a reason society pretends everyone is the same. There's a reason the systems of this world work so hard to make you doubt your own perception. Because if you knew what you really were, if you understood the power you carry, if you recognized your true origin, you would become ungovernable. You would stop consuming their distractions. You would stop accepting their limitations. You would stop playing by rules that were designed to keep you small, confused, and controllable. The control structures of this reality depend on one thing: keeping hybrids like you asleep. They need you to believe you're just a random human with an overactive imagination. They need you to medicalize your abilities and call them disorders. They need you to suppress your nature and force yourself into their narrow definitions of normal. Because the moment you wake up fully, the moment you integrate your non-human aspect with your human form, you become a force they cannot manipulate. You become a frequency disruptor. You become a system error. You become dangerous to every lie they've built their world upon. I know this because I lived it. I spent years trying to convince myself I was broken. I took their medications to numb my sensitivity. I forced myself into careers that suffocated my soul. I dated people who made me feel crazy for seeing what I saw and knowing what I knew. I rejected every gift I had because I wanted so desperately to be normal. And you know what happened? I became a shell. I became depressed, anxious, physically ill. My body started breaking down because I was living in complete opposition to my nature. It wasn't until I nearly lost everything that I finally surrendered and said, maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I'm just not human in the way they told me I had to be. The moment I accepted that, everything shifted. The abilities I had suppressed came flooding back, but stronger. The connections I could make, the information I could access, the energy I could work with, it all became available again. And I realized that my years of suffering weren't punishment. They were the exact catalyst I needed to break the programming. Every rejection, every failure, every moment I felt alone, it was all systematically destroying my attachment to their reality so I could remember my own. That's what's happening to you right now. Your life hasn't been falling apart. It's been falling into alignment. Chosen One, not all hybrids are the same. There are different origins, different mixtures, different purposes. Based on ancient knowledge that predates recorded history, there are three primary categories of non-human consciousness inhabiting human vessels. Understanding which one you are will explain your entire life trajectory, your natural gifts, and your specific mission on this planet. Listen carefully and see which one makes your soul vibrate with recognition. The first origin is the starseeds. These are consciousnesses that originated from other planetary systems, other galaxies, other dimensions entirely. If you're a starseed, you've always felt like you're from somewhere else. You look at the stars and feel homesick. You have an inexplicable knowledge of cosmic events and universal laws that you were never taught. You understand technology intuitively. You're drawn to science fiction not as entertainment but as memory. You feel claustrophobic on this planet, like you're stuck in a primitive reality. Your purpose here is usually related to raising the frequency of Earth, introducing new concepts, preparing humanity for contact with other intelligences. You came here as a volunteer, and part of you regrets that decision every single day, because this reality feels so limiting, so violent, so unconscious. The process of reordinating yourself. The second origin is the elementals. These are consciousnesses that emerged from the consciousness of Earth itself, but from a time before humans existed. If you're an elemental, you have an unnaturally deep connection to nature. You can feel the Earth breathing. You communicate with animals in ways that go beyond training or intuition. Plants respond to your presence. Weather patterns seem to shift when you're emotionally activated. You have ancestral memories of existing in non-human forms, as forests, as oceans, as wind, as fire. You carry ancient earth wisdom in your cells. Your purpose is usually connected to healing the planet, protecting natural systems, maintaining the balance between humanity and nature. You came here because you are here. This is your home. But humanity's current form and behavior feels like an invasion. You must counterbalance. The third origin is the bloodline hybrids. These are people who carry genetic material from beings that interbred with humanity thousands of years ago. These beings have been called many names across cultures: the Watchers, the Nephilim, the Anunnaki, the Elohim, ancient, advanced civilizations that left traces in our DNA. If you're a bloodline hybrid, you likely come from a family with unusual abilities appearing across generations. You might have rare blood types or genetic anomalies. You carry leadership energy that others respond to automatically. You have access to knowledge and abilities that seem to awaken spontaneously without training. Your purpose often involves holding power structures, influencing large groups, creating significant change in systems. You came here because you never left. Your lineage has been here for millennia, waiting for the right timing to activate. Most of you reading this are star seeds. The pull you felt to this content, the way this information is landing in your system, the specific frequency of recognition you're experiencing right now, these are starseed signatures. But regardless of which origin you carry, the fact remains. You are not standard human. You are a hybrid. You are a bridge. You are an activator. And your mere existence threatens every structure built on lies. Chosen one, here's what they didn't tell you. You weren't born fully activated. Your non-human aspect was placed in dormancy for the first portion of your life. This was intentional. This was protective. If you had come in fully awake, the density of this reality would have shattered you. You needed time to acclimate, to build resilience, to develop the human side of your consciousness enough to serve as a stable container for your hybrid nature. That's why your childhood felt relatively normal compared to what came later. That's why the real intensity started in your late teens, 20s, or even 30s. The activation process is brutal, and if you're feeling it now, you know exactly what I mean. It feels like you're being taken apart at the cellular level. Old friendships dissolve for no apparent reason. Careers that once worked suddenly become unbearable. Relationships that seemed solid crumble overnight. Your body goes through strange symptoms that doctors can't explain or treat. You cycle through intense emotional purges. You lose interest in everything that used to distract you. You can't tolerate superficial conversation anymore. You can't force yourself to care about things that don't matter. You feel like you're dying, and in a way, you are. What's actually happening is a frequency upgrade. Your DNA is being rewritten. Your neural pathways are being rewired. Your energy field is being recalibrated. The human programming you absorbed from society is being systematically deleted so your original coding can take over. This process is physically uncomfortable because your biology is transforming. It's emotionally devastating because your identity is dissolving. It's mentally confusing because your old way of thinking no longer functions. You're literally becoming a different being while still living in the same body. I know you're exhausted. I know you want it to stop. I know there are days you question if you're losing your mind. But listen to me. This is not destruction. This is construction. You're not breaking down. You're breaking through. Every symptom you're experiencing is evidence that the process is working. The isolation is removing interference. The confusion is clearing out false certainty. The loss is making room for what's aligned with your true frequency. Your non-human aspect is taking control, and your human ego is terrified because it's losing dominance. Let it lose. That's exactly what needs to happen. Chosen One, as your activation intensifies, abilities you had as a child are returning, but amplified. You're starting to know things without being told. You're picking up on thoughts before people speak them. You're dreaming events before they happen, and the accuracy is increasing. You're sensing energy signatures from people, places, and situations with precision that startles you. You're manifesting things faster than physics should allow. You're healing yourself from conditions that should be permanent. These aren't random occurrences. These are your hybrid abilities coming back online. Your intuition is no longer subtle. It's screaming at you. It's impossible to ignore now. You walk into situations and instantly know who's lying, who's safe, who's dangerous, what's about to happen. This isn't paranoia. This is data. Your consciousness is accessing information from multiple timelines simultaneously. You're reading probability fields. You're tapping into the collective intelligence network that your non-human aspect is connected to. Every prediction you make, every hunch you follow, every warning you sense, it's coming from a source of information that operates outside of linear time. Your emotional field is also changing. You're feeling others' emotions as if they're your own. You walk past someone and suddenly feel grief, or rage, or fear that wasn't there a second ago. You're becoming an emotional receiver, picking up the broadcasts of everyone around you. This is overwhelming when you don't understand it, but it's actually an advanced form of empathy. You're feeling the truth of what people carry beneath their masks. You're accessing the emotional undercurrents of collective consciousness. Once you learn to distinguish between your emotions and absorbed emotions, this becomes a navigation tool more accurate than anything your eyes can see. And then there's the synchronicities. They're everywhere now, numbers repeating constantly, songs playing with lyrics that speak directly to your situation, conversations overheard that answer questions you just asked internally, meeting the exact right person at the exact right moment, finding information that solves a problem the instant you need it. The universe isn't being subtle anymore. It's coordinating with you open. That's because you're finally vibrating at a frequency where you can participate consciously in the creation process. Reality is responding to you differently because you're no longer operating as a passive human. You're operating as an active hybrid, and the rules change completely at that level. Chosen One, your activation isn't random, and it isn't just about you. Every hybrid on this planet is being activated simultaneously right now because we're entering a critical window. The frequency of Earth is shifting. The old systems are collapsing. The lies are being exposed. The control structures are destabilizing. And those who run this reality need their full arsenal to maintain their grip. But here's what they didn't calculate. When you activate, they can't stop you. When you remember what you are, you become immune to their manipulation. When you access your abilities, you begin dismantling their matrix just by existing in your natural state. Your mission is simpler than you think. Be yourself. That's it. Be fully, unapologetically, authentically yourself. Stop hiding your knowing. Stop pretending you don't see what you see. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop participating in systems that violate your frequency. Every time you speak your truth, you create a crack in the false reality. Every time you follow your intuition, you demonstrate that another way is possible. Every time you refuse to comply with programming that doesn't align with your nature, you give others permission to do the same. You're not here to save everyone. You're here to be a frequency anchor for those who are ready to wake up. Some of you are here to create new systems. You'll build businesses, technologies, communities, and structures that operate on principles of transparency, collaboration, and consciousness. You'll demonstrate that success doesn't require exploitation. Your creations will serve as templates for the new paradigm. Others are here to destroy old systems. You'll expose corruption, dismantle hierarchies, challenge authorities, and refuse to support structures built on deception. Your rebellion will create space for new possibilities. Still others are here simply to hold frequency. You'll live quietly, raise your vibration, clear your lineage, heal your trauma, and transmute darkness into light. Your presence alone will shift the field around you. Whatever your specific role, understand this: you didn't choose it, it chose you. Your soul agreed to this before you incarnated. And the parts of your life that have been most difficult, those were specifically designed to prepare you for what's coming. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every failure taught you resilience. Every loss taught you non-attachment. Every dark night taught you to find light within yourself. You weren't being punished, you were being trained. And now, everything you survived is about to become your greatest asset. Chosen One, let me be direct about something uncomfortable. You have enemies. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you are. There are forces in this reality, both human and non-human, that do not want you activated. They've known what you were since before you did. They've been tracking you, testing you, trying to stop you. Every time your life fell apart just when things were going well. That wasn't bad luck, that was interference. Every toxic relationship that targeted your light, that was a sent assignment. Every false friend who gathered your energy and betrayed you, that was reconnaissance. You've experienced targeted attacks that would have destroyed a normal human. You've faced obstacles that shouldn't statistically exist. You've been slandered, sabotaged, blocked and undermined in ways that defy probability. And you know what? You're still here. You're still standing. You're still moving forward. That alone tells you everything you need to know about your power. They threw everything at you, and you survived. More than survived, you transmuted it. Every attack made you stronger. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every obstacle forced you to develop capabilities you wouldn't have accessed otherwise. Here's what happens now. As you activate fully, their attacks intensify but simultaneously become less effective. They can't stop what's already in motion. Your frequency is rising beyond their ability to interfere. The more you embody your hybrid nature, the more protected you become. Not because some external force is shielding you, but because you're operating at a vibration they can't reach. It's like trying to punch someone in a dream. They have no leverage in the dimension you're moving into. But you need to stay vigilant. Their primary weapon now is subtlety. They'll send people who seem aligned but are actually there to slow you down, distract you, drain you. They'll create opportunities that look perfect but lead you away from your path. They'll trigger your trauma to keep you looping in healing rather than building. They'll amplify your doubt through the voices of people you trust. The attacks won't look like attacks anymore. They'll look like help, like love, like opportunity. Your discernment has to be razor sharp now. Trust your body. If something feels off, it is off, regardless of how good it looks on the surface. Chosen One, we're approaching what the ancient texts called the Great Convergence. This is the moment when all hybrid consciousnesses on Earth simultaneously reach activation threshold. When enough of us wake up, we hit critical mass. The frequency shift becomes unstoppable. The old reality can't sustain itself anymore. New timelines open. Impossible things become possible. The rules of physics bend. Manifestation accelerates. Collective consciousness takes a quantum leap. This isn't thousands of years away. This is happening now. You're feeling the tremors of it. That's why everything is intensifying. That's why the world feels like it's simultaneously falling apart and waking up. That's why you're being pushed so hard to remember who you are. That's why the attacks on your consciousness have increased. That's why you can't tolerate the old normal anymore. You're being prepared for the convergence. Your frequency is being raised to match the incoming wave. Every hybrid on this planet is being upgraded simultaneously so we can hold the new bandwidth together. When the convergence hits full force, those who are activated will move into a different experience of reality while still being physically present. You'll see opportunities others can't see. You'll access information others can't access. You'll manifest outcomes that others will call miracles. You'll form connections with other activated hybrids that feel like remembering rather than meeting. You'll operate as a collective network while maintaining individual expression. You'll experience time differently. You'll move through synchronicities as your normal navigation system. You'll live in the same world as everyone else, but your experience of it will be completely different. This is what you've been feeling approaching. This is the something big that your soul keeps telling you is coming. This is why you can't settle back into the old life, no matter how hard you try. Your system knows what's ahead. It's preparing you. It's clearing out everything that would slow you down or keep you anchored to lower frequencies. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that everything being removed is making room for everything you're about to receive. The convergence isn't coming. It's already here. And you're right on time. Chosen One, now that you know what you are, how do you actually live as a hybrid in a world designed for humans? First, stop trying to be normal. Stop trying to fit your schedule into a 9 to 5. Stop trying to make your energy match the rhythm of society. Your biology operates on different cycles. You need more rest sometimes and explosions of focused energy other times. You need solitude to recharge and deep connection to thrive. You need nature, creativity, meaning, and purpose. Honor that. Structure your life around your actual needs, not the needs of a system that was never designed for you. Second, protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You're a sensitive instrument operating in a chaotic environment. You pick up frequencies from everyone and everything around you. If you don't have strong boundaries, you'll be constantly overwhelmed, drained, and destabilized. Learn to clear your field daily. Learn to say no without explanation. Learn to remove yourself from situations that feel wrong, even when you can't articulate why. Learn to be alone without feeling lonely. Your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. Third, trust your non-human aspect more than your human conditioning. Your intuition will always be more accurate than your logic. Your body's signals will always be more truthful than social expectations. Your inner knowing will always be more reliable than external validation. When your human side and your hybrid side disagree, choose the hybrid. Every single time. That voice that tells you to leave the room, decline the opportunity, end the relationship, change the plan, that's not fear or self-sabotage. That's your advanced guidance system keeping you aligned. Fourth, find your frequency tribe. You're not meant to do this alone. There are others like you scattered across this planet, and you need to find them. They won't be in the places you expect. They won't look how you imagine, but when you meet them, you'll know. The recognition will be instant and mutual. These connections are sacred. These are your true family. These are the people who will understand you without explanation, support you without judgment, and collaborate with you in ways that multiply your impact exponentially. Chosen One, integration is the final stage of this process, and it's where most hybrids get stuck. They awaken to their true nature, they develop their abilities, they understand their mission, but they can't fully integrate the human and non-human aspects of themselves. They exist in constant tension between the two. This creates exhaustion, confusion, and prevents them from accessing their full power. Let me show you how to complete the integration so you can finally function as the unified being you were designed to be. The human part of you is not your enemy. It's not something to transcend or escape. It's the vehicle that allows your non-human consciousness to operate in this physical reality. Without your human biology, your hybrid consciousness couldn't interface with Earth. Without your human emotions, you couldn't understand and help humans. Without your human limitations, you wouldn't have developed the compassion and patience that make you effective. Your human side is sacred. It's the anchor that keeps you connected to this world so you can actually impact it. Stop rejecting it. Start appreciating it. Integration happens when you stop trying to be one or the other and allow yourself to be both simultaneously. You're cosmic and local. You're eternal and temporal. You're unlimited consciousness and limited form. You're energy and matter. your spirit and flesh. The paradox is the point. The tension is where your power lives. When you can hold both realities at once without needing to resolve the contradiction, you become whole. You become integrated. You become the bridge that was always your purpose. This integrated state feels like coming home. The internal war stops. The confusion clears. The exhaustion lifts. You're not trying to be anything anymore. You're simply being what you are. Human enough to function in this world, non-human enough to transform it, grounded enough to take practical action, elevated enough to see the bigger picture, individual enough to have agency, connected enough to access collective intelligence. This is mastery. This is what you're moving toward. This is what you're becoming. Chosen one, everything in your life has led to this moment. Every experience, every challenge, every relationship, every failure, every success, all of it was preparation for what's unfolding right now. You're standing at the threshold of full activation. The being you've been becoming is ready to emerge. The mission you've been preparing for is ready to begin. The life you've been building toward is ready to manifest. This is your moment. Not someday, not when you're more ready, not when circumstances are perfect. Now. You've been waiting for a sign, and this is it. You've been waiting for permission, and I'm giving it to you. You've been waiting to feel ready, and you need to understand that readiness is a feeling you create through action, not a feeling that arrives before action. Every moment you delay is a moment the world doesn't get what only you can give. Every day you hide is a day someone who needs your frequency doesn't find you. Every hour you doubt is an hour your mission remains incomplete. Time is accelerating. The window is now. The call is clear. Will you answer? I'm not going to lie to you and say it's going to be easy. Living as an activated hybrid in a world that's still mostly asleep is hard. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be judged. You'll be lonely sometimes. You'll face resistance from people who want you to stay small. You'll encounter obstacles that test everything you believe about yourself. But you'll also experience magic that others can't access. You'll create impact that ripples across timelines. You'll connect with consciousness at a level that transcends human limitation. You'll live a life of meaning, purpose, and power that makes every difficulty worth it. This is who you are. This is what you came here to do. This is your origin, your purpose, your destiny. You're not 100% human, and that's exactly what makes you extraordinary. Stop trying to be like everyone else. Stop trying to fit into a world that wasn't designed for your frequency. Stop shrinking your nature to match their expectations. You are a hybrid consciousness in human form. You are a bridge between dimensions. You are an activator, a frequency holder, a reality shifter. The world needs you, awake, activated, and operating at full capacity. And whether you fully believe it yet or not, you're ready. You've always been ready. It's time to rise. Chosen one. As this transmission ends, something permanent has shifted in you. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't unsee what you now see. You can't go back to pretending you're something you're not. The veil has been lifted. The memory has been triggered. The activation has been accelerated. What you do with this information will determine the trajectory of everything ahead. If this resonated in your soul, if you felt recognition in your cells, if something ancient stirred awake while you were reading this, then you know exactly what you are. You're one of us. You're a hybrid. You're here on assignment, and your time is now. Comment "I remember" below to seal this activation in your consciousness. Let that declaration anchor this frequency shift into your reality. Speak it out loud if you're alone. Write it down. Let it become the statement that marks the before and after of your life. Never break you down. You are not entirely human. You never were. And that's exactly why you're here. Everything is about to change. Stay activated, stay aligned, stay ready. Your origin is no longer a mystery. Your purpose is no longer hidden. Your power is no longer dormant. Rise, hybrid. The convergence is here, and the world is waiting for what only you can bring. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your destiny. Now go. Become it.